Merry Christmas Eve, my friends. How are you? Wherever you are in the world, Merry Christmas Eve. Maybe it's already Christmas for you. Hello from cold Wisconsin. Just got back from a walk and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go live. I want to talk about giving and receiving, the gifts that we give ourselves. It's going to be a short, quickie live. Sometimes I'm just inspired to do it, and so I go with the flow. And here we are on another Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? Wow, this year has gone by amazingly fast. And I'm going to share two stories with you today, two really powerful stories about the gifts we give ourselves, giving and receiving, and living in abundance and gratitude, which I know a lot of people are reflective and introspective right now, which is great. I highly encourage it all year long. And my sister, who's in town, her husband flies in just a couple hours. We have been cooking and baking up a storm. I got up early this morning and started cooking and baking for tomorrow. Who loves to cook and bake? Do you take care of your family dinner? You do it Christmas Eve? On Christmas Day? Our house smells so delicious right now. And it's funny because I actually want to talk about food. Food is part of the theme today in my surprise live stream. And I just went out for a nice walk in the neighborhood, and even though it was cold, I could smell the wafting aromas of people's meals that they were preparing. Maybe some roasts, some turkey, and the whole neighborhood for about 1.5 miles just smelled amazing. And I could just feel the joy radiating from each household. And it certainly is here. My sister is planning a decadent charcuterie board tonight. And then we have the family coming over with all the kiddos to do presents at a big Christmas dinner. So I was thinking about food as I was out walking around, smelling all the households in preparation, which smells amazing. And feeling grateful that we get to enjoy so much decadence, truly. And I never want to take anything for granted. I've seen too much living around the world to take it for granted. And it made me start thinking today, which is what inspired this live stream, about giving and receiving and being grateful for even the smallest of things. And it takes me back to a quick story I'm going to share with you. I had been living in Southeast Asia for 9 months. This is about 10 years ago. And I came back to the United States for the holidays, like right now, to see the family. And at the time I was in Los Angeles, and I went to a party, and I'm having some difficulty already coming back to the United States. It's such a blatant shock for me after being in Southeast Asia, which is a completely different world. Completely night and day different. And I was having a difficult time re-assimilating. And I was invited to a party. I went, and I overheard two girls my age talking, and their conversation was so distressed. And I was listening, and their biggest worry, which was keeping them up at night, stressing them out, was there was a party coming up in downtown Los Angeles, and they wanted to go to the party but have a dress that no other woman was going to wear so they could stand out, look better, superior to other women, social climb the ladder, and hook the attention of a man. And their biggest worry was trying to find this outfit, this dress. They'd probably spend $500 on their outfit, maybe $1,000 or more. Something that would make them stand out to look better than everyone else. And this was their greatest worry. Well, they were so stressed out about this. And wow, this really caught me off guard while I'm listening to this story, and I'm now re-assimilating back into Western culture after having lived in Southeast Asia for 9 months in the jungles and really loving it. I had just gotten to Burma. I went to Burma, actually Myanmar, but formerly known as Burma, on a whim, because that's how I roll. And I've always wanted to explore the beautiful country of Burma. And I went there, and it's still pretty rough. It's just recently opened for tourism, so it's still pretty rough. And I was out walking from temples to temples, doing my own self-guided tour, and had a nice meal at a restaurant there. And then I was out walking, and I was in Burma, seeing, the blatant levels of poverty there, like you will in many countries. I mean, I've been to the slums, second biggest slum in the world, which is Nairobi, Kenya. I went right into them all the way through. I've been on the perimeter of Mumbai slums in India. That's the third biggest in the world. You can't unsee these things. It's just so shocking. And especially the poverty for children. It's so incredibly shocking, night and day. In fact, I wish I could shock a lot of Western culture out of their complacency and their superiority and entitlement. I wish I could just take a bunch of people and show them, have them live there for a while so that they could become humble again and realize that they have it so amazing, how abundant they are, to not take it for granted. I would love to shock the you-know-what out of people. It would be for their own good. Anyway, so I've seen things that I can't unsee, and it's really helped keep my perspective and lens humble and grateful and not self-entitled at all. Just for, being in the countries that I have traveled and seeing so much. So, going through Burma and seeing the poverty there and the roughness, all, with its vibrancy and color and beauty all at the same time, while I was out on this, walking around the city of Mandalay, I walked past this garbage dump, and I was looking through, actually filmed it. There were families with children that were scrounging through these garbage dumps, trying to find something to eat, trying to find something of value. And it shocked me, because I had just come out of a nice restaurant myself, not worrying about what I was going to eat, eating well. And just seeing these families, these children, picking through garbage dumps, like right in front of me, that really shocked me to the core. I was like, whoa, here I am, as a tourist. I have a nice flight. I have, maybe it's a little rougher transportation in the country of Burma, but I can fly anywhere I want to go, or stay at a nice hotel, eat at great restaurants with gorgeous food anytime I want. And then here I am amongst people who are scrounging for food in a garbage dump. And that one really stood out to me right there. And in that moment, when I heard these girls in LA talking about their party and their biggest stress of their life, their biggest burden was finding a, $500,000, couple $1,000 outfit that they would wear once and then never to be, seen or heard again, like a lot of people do. I'm not judging that that's what somebody wants to do. However, it felt so, the polarity of just leaving Burma and seeing people firsthand eating out of garbage dumps and coming back to self-entitled Los Angeles, and girls whining about the fact that they can't find an outfit that will make them look better than the other girls. It was just, whoa, it didn't feel real to me. And I remember in that moment thinking, like, I want to go back to Southeast Asia, because it feels real, even with the hardships and the poverty and the roughness. It felt, more genuine to me. And in a month, I had just gotten back to Los Angeles. I took off again, went back to Asia. because I enjoy so much, even with the blatant polarity of poverty and affluence. Like it felt more real to me. And I'll never forget that moment where people, now it's okay if that's someone's biggest stress to find an outfit that they're never going to wear for a grand. You know, those people that I saw in Burma eating out of a garbage dump, they could live on a grand for a whole year, you know, and probably live really well. So it stood out to me a lot. And I was thinking about food and how we're all going to be eating really, really well today, tomorrow, this whole holiday week and a half, enjoying our family, our friends. Like I said here, we're cooking and baking up a storm. To remember those that don't have much and don't get to just choose whatever they want out of a grocery store with a million options, right? Sometimes when I'm walking a pilgrimage in Spain, my options for food are A or A. And it makes life really simple. It's what it is. And so you come back to the Western world where there's so many options in a grocery store or restaurants. It's like decision fatigue. People actually have that decision fatigue. And it's easy to get lulled into that entitlement if you don't have blatant reminders right in your face, smacking you, reminding you of how other people live. And that's one of the reasons I love to travel, because it forces me radical humility. It forces me to stay extremely humble and grateful in the moment. And I appreciate that lens, that perspective, because that brings more oneness in my life. Hi, David. How are you? Thanks for joining. Merry Christmas Eve to my friends around the world. I hope you're having a beautiful Christmas Eve or Christmas already for you. And yeah, say hi where you're joining from. I love to see at least 3-4 continents in a live stream. My Facebook family here. Live from cold Wisconsin, soon to be the beaches of Santa Monica shortly here. And I cannot wait to get into a bikini. I'm not a cold weather person. So yeah, back to gratitude. Like a lot of the world does not have the options and abundance that we do. I'll say like America, even within America, there's still a high level of poverty. So while you're having your beautiful, gorgeous meals, like I'm going to have the most amazing charcuterie board tonight, including baked brie with fresh cranberries. Ooh, doesn't that sound good? I'm a huge fan of cheese's charcuterie, and it is like my sister has gone all out. And tomorrow we have a feast. As you are feasting during the holiday season, pause and give massive appreciation for your ability to enjoy at this decadent level. And then this leads me to one more story, and then we're going to wrap it up. I have a gift for you at the end of this live stream too. Because you know what? Giving and receiving are the same thing. Think about it for a moment. Ponder this. Out of oneness, I am you, you are me. If I give to you, I'm giving to myself, and vice versa, right? Also, if I give to you, I get the gift of being generous. And if you receive, you get the gift of being abundant in whatever that is. And we want to keep this giving and receiving circle, this flow, always moving constantly, the current of this to be moving, and never to be stingy or greedy and shut it off, strangle this current, right? The same with receiving. A lot of people have a hard time receiving, so they're stopping that flow, that current of giving and receiving, which is the same. We want to keep that flowing. I give to you when I do a live stream, when I come from my heart to yours vulnerably. I am giving. You are receiving by my vulnerability from my heart, my stories, my insights and inspiration. You're also giving to me by your precious life force of time and attention. And then sometimes engagement. I get a lot of questions and comments privately after a live stream. So I appreciate that's a gift to me. So, I mean, you can see that the giving and receiving is always occurring. And we want to keep that flow moving and never strangle it, and never cut it off. And I have some really awesome news that I'll be sharing over the next weeks, particularly from the beaches of warmer Santa Monica. You know I love to do live streams out there. I cannot wait to be barefoot, do some grounding. Anyway, so I was thinking about giving and receiving and food, which is our sub-theme today for the holidays, and how much I'm a foodie. I'm not sure if you are too, but I love to eat. It's such a gift. Food is consumable art, and I love to create it, and I bake and I cook with love. Who cooks and bakes with love? It makes a difference. You can feel it, you can taste it, it's more nourishing. It's a more delicious experience when you cook and you bake with love. And the same goes with the receiving of the eating of it. True fulfillment. And this is a story that I'm sharing from my friends in Uganda. I have not been to Uganda yet, but I will. And my goal is to go to Uganda for a very specific mission this year, 2026. Well, coming year, we're almost there. And I have friends there in Uganda who have a trust, and they sponsor a village of orphans. And it's a village that is a guardianship village, and I've been speaking about this more and more. It's something that I'll be telling you more about, which is going to be a life's work for me, and on multiple continents. So part of my going to Uganda and India are research right now. So they have a trust that they have formed, and they sponsor about 300 children who live in this village close to their home. In this village, there's schools, there's kitchens, there's sleeping accommodations. It's like a village for these 300 orphans in Uganda. And they have everything is systematic: feeding, teaching, learning, games. The children live together, and the guardians are the ones, like my friends and people around in nearby villages, that act as the mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunties, uncles. They raise the children collectively as a village. Now we know that there's absolute problems, and the cost and the length of time that the governments create for adoption worldwide is a huge problem. Until that is reformed and transformed, I love the fact that there are guardianship villages being set up all over the world, particularly in some of these nations where they have a high percentage of orphans from either war, disease, I would even say starvation in some cases. So the fact that my friends have this guardianship village that they've sponsored through a trust, and they actively are involved with these children, raising these children collectively and in love, and enough food so these children are not starving or malnourished, it's amazing, right? More on that. So I've been following their guardianship village now for years, and I have an open invitation to come out and join them and explore Uganda and also see what they're doing. And I will go, because I think this is such a revolutionary way to raise children, to raise orphans in a horrible system that's set up to delay and make it cost prohibitive for people to adopt, especially in where there's high rates of poverty. I'm sure there's plenty of homes around the world and in Western world that want to adopt, and it takes years. And I mean, it's purposely set up that way. So being able to claim these children, these orphans around the world, and give them a village where they're raised by a village of love is incredible. So I'm going to be seeing this firsthand and volunteering, of course. I saw this story. My friend posted it recently. It was a couple years ago, and it was about Easter and how these 300 orphans that they are raising collectively as a village, and they sponsor them. So these kids are coming from dire situations, very sad situations. They've lost their families. Some of them, have been forced into, with crime lords, warlords. Like, I'm not even going to go into what happens to a lot of the little girls and boys we know, you've seen in movies. And it's far worse than you could even think. So they have been rescued from traumatic and horrible situations, malnourishment, just like the most traumatic that you can think of. And then now they're being able to rehabilitate and live a better life and learn and educate and create a good life as a child, right? Every child should have that opportunity. Children are so innocent and pure, and they deserve a beautiful childhood. And not one where they don't have enough to eat, as here we are stuffing our faces at Christmas, right? Think about these children around the world. And so the children, they don't have a lot to look forward to, but they were really looking forward to Easter. Sometimes, like some of them, it was their very first Easter, and my friends had gotten some eggs and filled them with candies, and they don't have the same amount of like Easter paraphernalia and candies that we do here in the US, where everywhere you walk there's just stores full of it, right? It was kind of hard to come by, but they filled some eggs. The kids were so excited. This is going to be their first Easter egg hunt. 300 orphans, right? Can you imagine this? And they were going to have a nice, beautiful meal after their Easter egg hunt. And so these little kids, these little Ugandan kids, were so excited for this. Their first Easter, I get to go for an Easter egg hunt, and then after that I get to have a meal. So they had been thinking about this and excited and looking forward to it for weeks, these children. And so the day comes, and they've been preparing. My friends have made such a great preparation for the kids' first Easter, and they went and hid all the eggs around the village. So the kids are getting ready to start, all these 300 orphans start their first Easter egg hunt ever. They're so excited. And what happened right before they started, it gets me every time. The local thieves in the area went out and scooped up and grabbed and robbed all the eggs, all the Easter egg hunt. They went and took all the eggs away from the orphans and took them for themselves. And my friend is describing this, like seeing these men, the local thieves, low life, like who's gonna rob an orphan who has nothing? And they go and they collect and rob all the eggs. And the children are so sad. And my friend who's telling the story there, she's saying like, okay, what do I do in this situation, right? Because the kids are watching me. And I was thinking about myself. I'm like, what would I do in that moment as I'm reading this story, and I'm seeing the pictures too. I'm sad. I am super sad for the orphans because they have so little to look forward to, and this is their first Easter, and then the local thieves, men in the neighborhood, come and steal all their eggs, right? So I'm sad for the orphans, but I'm also angry at these men. Like, how could you do that? You don't want to go chase after them. If someone's low life enough, low vibration enough to steal from orphans, they're probably, have weapons or armed or, ready to do violence. There's no integrity there. So you don't chase after them. So what my friend is, she kept her composure and she said, we decided to make it a teaching moment for the children. They did still have their nice meal, but they weren't able to do the Easter egg hunt. And she said, like they did, what would Jesus do in this situation? So she came from a very high vibrational place of love, of forgiveness. So it was a teaching opportunity for the orphans. I think, wow, stories like that. And tomorrow, what happens? Like, kids, self-entitled, they're going to count how many presents they get. Oh, there's not enough. This year I only got 20 presents and I didn't get everything on my list. And there's a lot of that going on, a lot of self-entitlement and greed. and lack of appreciation and gratitude for what they have. Contrast, they're not an orphan in Africa or India. However, I think it would be beneficial for children to experience what life is outside of their, abundant, decadent Christmas dinner and 20 presents under the Christmas tree and take. How much appreciation is there, right? I think it'd be great for kids, for people in general, that are self-entitled and greedy and thinking only about themselves to experience the contrast, the blatant unsee. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That type of contrast, experience it firsthand, like I have around the world. It will jolt you to your core. And now, as we're walking into, everyone's sharing gifts. Sometimes we're doing gifts of service, experiential gifts, gifts of time, or actual tangible physical gifts, right? To appreciate those, really appreciate them, knowing that we are so abundant. We have so much. Even down to our food options and what we get to eat, we have so much. And think about the other side of the coin of those who are eating out of garbage dumps, like I saw in Burma when I was there. It is blatantly different. And to be giving and generous is a gift to ourselves. I have many initiatives, some of which you're going to hear very shortly, that will give you the opportunity, the gift of being generous. And you want to be. It is like a high like nothing else to be generous. What an amazing feeling. And some of these are revolving around food and nourishing and feeding children. Clean water. We don't have to think about that, do we? When I was in Morocco, I remember seeing guys on donkeys going long distances to get clean water, to drink, to bathe. I was actually, 7 years ago today, I was in the Saharan desert with nomads, actual nomads, 13 children, 3 wives and 1 husband. I got to hang out with nomads in the Saharan desert, and they had a long distance to walk to a river, they showed me, to get drinking water, which they had to boil to drink, and to get bathing water. A long way to go. We are like so snobby when it comes to water. We won't even drink tap water, let alone filtered water. It's got to be pH balanced, alkaline at this level. I mean, we're total water snobs. I know I am. However, I've been to the countries where, like I saw in Tanzania when I was there, in Kenya, what the slums were getting water from, the gross rivers of garbage and people pooping and peeing in the same water that they're bathing their children and getting drinking water, and what, you can't unsee this, right? The fact that we take for granted even getting a cup of filtered water. Think about it. We are so blessed. We get to eat whatever we want, drink whatever we want. Water is clean. Pardon the sniffles. It's cold outside, and I just went for a walk right before this, so I'm gonna walk inside my house, and you know what? There's a beautiful tree, Christmas tree right there, full of presents. My house smells like everything that I was baking and cooking this morning. Decadent food. I am not going to be unappreciative for any of that. I have a house with warmth. I mean, my neighborhood, just walking around, smelling everything. Everyone here has at least 1.5 acres, minimum 4,000 square foot house, It's just so much abundance, so much to be grateful for. And remember those right now that have very little. And what a gift it is that you have to be generous to those. And grateful, living in absolute humbled gratitude for what you have. Not just today, not tomorrow, but every day. This isn't just a holiday message. The gift we give ourselves, well, being generous, being grateful, those are all gifts. Being able to give and receive from a healthy, generous, and abundant place. And helping others that have far less than we do. That gift of being of generosity, open-hearted, grateful, no greed, no self-entitlement. That's amazing that we have that ability. And some more things on that. I wanted to tell you real quick, so I could talk about themes like this forever. In fact, they deserve their own film series. So maybe they will get that as a filmmaker. I love to bring conscious themes to filmmaking. Not everybody will read a book or go to a seminar, but they will watch a film, they'll watch a video, especially if it's dynamic, compelling, well done. Like from heart-centric, highly conscious content filmmaking, people will watch a video. That's another reason I love storytelling so much. If you missed this, go back and watch from the beginning. It's loaded with gems and 2 really amazing stories as well. So I wish you the most amazing Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. Namaste, Deepak. How are you? And another friend here, I do not know how to say your name. Welcome. And if you want to show me how to pronounce her name, I'd love to learn. Thank you for joining. Yeah, go back and watch from the beginning. This one is just, it is steeped. It is marinated in absolute humbled gratitude, because that's how I choose to live my life. And what a blessing to me to have lived around the world in some really impoverished places, like going to Burma and seeing people feeding out of a garbage dump, by going through the second biggest slum, right through it, seeing it firsthand on every single 360 degrees. Nairobi, the second biggest slum in the world, outside of Mumbai's biggest slum in the world, or number 3 in the world. Seeing these things are very shocking. Living in countries where people are living hand to mouth day to day, I find is a gift for me, because it keeps me humble and grateful for little things like drinking clean water and having whatever I want to eat. And even if it's maybe not the most favorite thing to eat in the world, I don't have to worry about food. I am well nourished. In fact, I probably put on 5 pounds already this Christmas season because of all the cooking and baking. I'm going to be grateful for that. I am grateful and thankful. I never let a moment go by where I'm feeling self-entitled or greedy or any of that. No, it's too precious. And thinking for those, sending love to those that I have a lot less than us this Christmas season, but not just Christmas, all the time. And you're going to be hearing about my initiatives worldwide. I'm taking it up a notch because why? We can always be more, do more, and give more. There's no such thing as giving fatigue when you realize that giving and receiving are the same thing. In oneness, we are always giving and receiving to ourselves. So I'm going to end this beautiful message. Oh, there is a gift for you. If you see my post before this, I curated a short list of 5 life-changing audiobooks. I mean, I could probably make a list up to 300-400 that I've read that have changed my life. 5 that I would want to share with you as people are more reflective and introspective here at the end of the year, heading into the new year. These are all great books. All 5 of them are audiobooks for free as a gift that I would love to gift you. All you have to do is comment gift here in the live stream or on the post below this, or send me a direct message and I will send you that list of 5 audiobooks, which are just absolutely life-changing and amazing and perfect as you're heading into the last few days of 2025. So much love to you. Share this live stream. This is the content we want to get out there. Why? Because it's meaningful. Okay, that's what we want to put out into the world, is something purposeful, meaningful, heartfelt, thought-provoking, and hopefully provoking inspired action. I hope you have a beautiful Christmas Eve and Christmas wherever you are in the world. Will we go live tomorrow? Probably. So in the meantime, Merry Christmas Eve. Mwah! Love you, and I will see you on the next video.